Here is the policy guidelines on the implementation of the National Learning Camp. In line with the matatag Bansang Makabata, Batang Makabansa agenda, the Department of Education adopts the enclosed policy guidelines on the implementation of the National Learning Camp. This policy contributes to the commitment of DepEd to the National Learning Recovery Program, which aims to close learning gaps and assist K-12 learners in all public elementary and secondary schools nationwide in attaining learning standards. This policy outlines the guidelines for implementing the NLC, a voluntary learning recovery program. The NLC shall be offered every end of a school year break to complement learning efforts in the previous school year and provide a firmer basis for further gains in the upcoming school year. Based on the specific needs of the learners, they shall be enrolled in one of three camps: the enhancement camp, consolidation camp, and intervention camp. The enhancement camp enriches learning for advanced learners for providing greater depth, breadth, and complexity of learning area competencies, while the consolidation camp provides further practice on and application of previously taught competencies. Opportunities are provided to identify links connecting concepts and skills across grade level competencies. The intervention camp, on the other hand, supports learners who are yet to grasp foundational mathematics and or foundational English skills. Recognizing the critical role of teachers in improving learning outcomes, the NLC has a twofold purpose, that is improving learning performance and strengthening teacher capacity. DepEd Order Number 13, Series 2018, or the implementing guidelines on the conduct of remedial and advancement classes during summer for the K-12 basic education program, and DO 25, Series 2022, or the amendment to DepEd Order Number 13, Series 2018, and all other issuances inconsistent with this order and their provisions are repealed, rescinded, or amended accordingly. Now, this order shall take effect immediately upon publication thereof of the DepEd website. Certified copies of this order shall be registered with the Office of the National Administrative Registrar at the University of the Philippines Law Center, UP Diliman, Quezon City. The curriculum and teaching strand through the Bureau of Learning Delivery shall be responsible for the continuous improvement of these implementing guidelines. Consolidated feedback shall be addressed to the Office of the Director of the BLD through email at bld.od@deped.gov.ph or via telephone numbers 0286374346 and 86374347. Immediate dissemination of the strict compliance with this order is directed. Now, this is the rationale and the scope, the definition of terms, wherein it defines consolidation camp, what is the meaning of enhancement camp, intervention camp, and the national learning camp, and the remedial class. For the policy statement, we also have here from item number 8 to item number 13. Now let's have the procedure. This is the important part of this memo. So for the general guidelines, the NLC is a voluntary 3 to 5 week learning recovery program designed to benefit K-12 learners in public elementary and secondary schools. Based on the specific needs of the learners, they shall be enrolled in one of three camps: the enhancement camp, consolidation, or intervention camp. The phased implementation of the NLC shall commence in the 2022 to 2023 EOSY break, starting with grade 7 and 8 in English, Science, and Mathematics for enhancement, consolidation, intervention camps, and shall be expanded to other grade levels and learning areas in the succeeding school years, subject to the issuance of separate guidelines. However, schools are not precluded from conducting other EOSY break activities such as, but not limited to, EOSY reading and mathematics program for grades 1 to 3 and enrichment activities in other grade levels, alongside the phased implementation of the NLC to support learning recovery across grade levels. Remedial classes shall be conducted in other grade levels until the phased implementation of the NLC is completed, based on the learner's academic performance in the school year immediately preceding the EOSY break. Learners in need of greater academic support shall be highly encouraged to participate in remedial class in order to prepare them to transition to the next grade level. Now, incoming grade 12 learners who need to undertake work immersion in the succeeding semester shall be allowed to take one or two subjects in advance to reduce the academic load and give more attention to their work immersion. Placement of learners in the different camps shall depend on their performance in the pre-assessment or academic performance of the school year immediately preceding the EOSY break. On the other hand, the placement of learners in the remedial classes and the enrichment classes shall be based on the learners' academic performance in the school year immediately preceding the EOSY break. Early registration for NLC shall be conducted at least 2 weeks before the end of the school year. Class advisors, with the guidance and supervision of their school heads, shall be responsible for enlisting interested learners. Prior to participating in the NLC, duly accomplished parent legal guardian consent shall be required to ensure strong support and involvement of parents or legal guardians in the implementation of NLC. Teachers are encouraged to provide regular updates to parents or legal guardians on their children's learning progress, either through phone calls, letters, notes, or one-on-one conferences. Feedback and recommendation to support their children may be formally communicated through a parent-teacher conference that can be scheduled midway through the NLC or at its conclusion. A certificate of completion shall be forwarded to all learners who fulfill the requirement of the camp in terms of accomplishment of learning tasks. Learning tasks may include assignments, presentations, practical exercises, and other relevant activities that assess the learner's understanding and application of competencies. A certificate of recognition shall be awarded to teachers who have rendered their service in the implementation of the NLC. A separate memorandum shall be issued covering specific guidelines for implementing the NLC and other EOSY break activities. Now, we also have here the learning focus, the enhancement camp. Not going to read that anymore. The consolidation camp and the intervention camp. Now, for the learners' placement in the camps, learners shall be placed in specific camps based on the results of their pre-assessment or academic performance in the immediately preceding school year. Okay. So for the class size and schedule, the NLC shall have a maximum of 35 learners per class. However, school heads shall have the discretion to devise interventions for flexibility in organizing classes based on the availability of teachers and classrooms. The enhancement, consolidation, and intervention camp shall commence 1 week after the end of EOSY rights. The enhancement camp shall be conducted in 5 days each week, spanning a 3-week period. 3 days of the week shall be dedicated to structured and targeted teaching learning activities with the learners, while the remaining 2 days shall be allocated for collaborative sessions among teachers. The intervention and consolidation camp shall be conducted for 5 weeks with a teacher-learner engagement taking place for 3 days every week. The remaining 2 days shall be designated for teachers to participate in collaborative sessions. Schools shall have the flexibility to design the class program provided that the suggested teaching learning materials are adequately covered and the targeted learning competencies are not compromised. Remedial classes and classes organized for incoming grade 12 learners with subjects enrolled in advance shall be conducted for 5 weeks with 5 days of teacher-learner engagement each week. Classes shall run from Mondays to Fridays with a 3-hour duration per subject. However, schools, in consultation with parents and with approval of the school's division superintendent, may decide to implement a blended distance learning modality, and the distance learning component of the BLDM shall not exceed 2 days in a week except during emergencies or crises. Distance learning shall focus on the supplementary activities to deepen learners' understanding of the lesson. When learners are engaged in distance learning, teachers help participate in the LAC sessions to collaborate and share their expertise. Okay. So we also have here the teacher training and support. Teachers shall be capacitated on content and pedagogical knowledge and skills required for the NLC following the DepEd Order Number 42 Series 2017, and teacher capacity building shall be guided by the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, or PTSD. Education program supervisors, public schools district supervisors, school heads, and department heads shall provide technical assistance to teachers as needed. 2 days every week shall be dedicated to fostering collaborative expertise through LAC and other activities. The LAC session shall focus on planning and reviewing teaching, sharing effective and teaching approaches and strategies, preparing teaching materials, and discussing other teaching related concerns. The goal is to enhance the teaching and learning process and promote continuous professional development among educators. The NLC shall enhance job-embedded learning opportunities for teachers in which they can immediately apply newly acquired knowledge and skills directly to their teaching practice. Job-embedded learning promotes innovative teaching approaches. Through this immersive learning experience, teachers can address real-time challenges, refine their teaching methods, and increase their efficacy in addressing the diverse needs of learners. Also have the assessment and assigning and incentivizing NLC teachers, and also the funding source, the advocacy and stakeholder engagement, safety protocols, and the monitoring and evaluation. So that's it.